Oh yeah! Welcome to Kyle Brandt's Basement. Hey guys, Josh Allen Tuesday. It is on. He is here. He is ready. We will talk about how the Bills keep on winning. We will talk about him meeting Jay-Z after the game. We will get his review of Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we will assign him a new movie as part of the 2022 Josh Allen Film Festival. We were going to hit him with Die Hard, because I don't think he's seen Die Hard. But we're going to wait till we get a little closer to Christmas, maybe next week. This week we've got a few choices for him to make, but we have to talk about all kinds of stuff. I don't care if the game was last Thursday. I want to hear about that touchdown pass to Gabe Davis where he kind of elevated at the sideline and threw it across his body past like 12 Patriots and scored. I want to know how that goes on. What goes on in that beautiful mind of his? We're going to ask him everything, and we're going to ask him about Odell Beckham Jr. You bet your butt we're going to ask him about it. We're going to ask him. I don't know if he's going to want to talk about it, but I don't care. We're asking. That's what we do here in the basement. Josh Allen Tuesday. Also, we're going to talk about how weird the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. We're going to talk about, the Odell thing. How annoyed are you about just the coverage of the Odell thing? I'm going to contribute to that today. I'm a total hypocrite, but I'm still annoyed by it. And I wish that I could just pick right now which teams get in the playoffs. I'm talking about as wild cards. Which teams sneak in? I can't. I wish I could, because it would be so much more fun if I could. That's the show today. Let's go to the Skycam. Check it out. I mentioned Die Hard. We have our Hans Gruber advent calendar. Christmas doesn't start until Gruber falls off a Nakatomi Tower. We're going to take him one down from 5 down to 6. Long way to go to get to the bottom. I'm going to count to 3. It will not be a 4. Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman, his first movie ever, Die Hard. You can look it up. Also, I'm going to take my free throw. Then we're going to start the show. Wish me luck. I love you, Ben Wallace. And we're going to go like that. Nah, I missed again. My free throw percentage has got to be around 30 right now. I even got a nice warm-up in today. Was feeling it. And I've changed my technique a little. It doesn't work. You know what never changes? What I love, what I hate, and what's hilarious. Come on. I love how weird the Buccaneers are. That is a weird, inexplicable, strange team. You have Tom Brady's last season. They're 6-6. They lost to the Panthers a few weeks back. They lost to Jacoby Brissett Browns a couple of weeks ago. And they were about to get housed on their own field by the Andy Dalton Saints. And yet, still first place. Still probably play a home playoff game this year. This team is so strange. Veteran, respected coach, same coordinator as the Super Bowl run. Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you know the guys, Devin White, they're all out there. And they're just not good, but they're not horrible. They were down 16-3 with 3 minutes left in the game on national television at home. Just awful. And that would have been 3 straight F- at home against the Saints. The last 2 times they've played the Saints at Raymond James Stadium, Tampa Bay's home, they've scored 0 points and 3 points. And they were sitting on 3 with 3 minutes left. And then you can't let Cade Otton get hot. This is part of the weirdest thing, is that Brady gets to 6-6 in this, oh my God, depleted of oxygen, terrible stretch of a game in which you're like, can we breathe? Can we get anything going at all? And it's not like, all right, finally he hits one to Mike Evans. Finally, his trusted receiver, Chris Godwin, gets open. No, it's like he's working to two rookies that Tampa brought in, and not like these first-round guys, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson. Cade Otton, who is a first-round guy they drafted from Washington, and our guy Rachaad White, who is also a rookie. This incredible thing, Otton and White, both rookies, and that's who Tom Brady is going to. Not Gronk, not Randy Moss, not Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, Otton, and White. And so I started to think, like, in the NFC South right now, which is the strangest, crappiest division ever. I was talking this morning about it is like, if you can haul it, you can have it. It's this old kid's toy you don't really need or want anymore because the kids have outgrown it. Like the play school plastic slide with the 3 little steps and then the 3-foot slide that they go down when they're 2 in their little diapers and you clap and you get it on video. Well, now your kid is 5. All that thing is doing is taking up space in your yard or your basement. So you need to get rid of it. But you have a heart, and so you want it to go to other people instead of just throwing it away. So you put it down at the end of the driveway, and either you go on the insipid Nextdoor app or you just put a sign on it. Free slide. If you can haul it, you can have it. That's what we used to say. That's the NFC South. It's the free play school plastic slide that no one seems to want. It just sits there day after day and it gets rained on, maybe snowed on. Someone take this thing. Here's the principles involved. Again, what's at stake here? A division crown, a home playoff game. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I've just talked about, who are bizarro and can't decide if they're maybe pretty good like they were in Germany or absolutely horrible like when they got just destroyed by the Carolina Panthers. Or just doubly weird where they were horrible last night and then really good for 3 minutes. They can't decide who they are. They're your clubhouse leader. Then you have the Atlanta Falcons on who have waited and waited and waited and waited, and they just don't seem to want to be a grown-up. They don't seem to want to join us. They can't get over the hump. And then you have the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers with Sam Darnold as their quarterback. Not P.J. Walker. Baker Mayfield's not even on the team anymore. Sam Darnold, and they got a win last week. So everyone's like, maybe the Panthers could win it. And then just the Saints, who bitterly choked away that game last night. An awful, awful, terrible loss in which they had to do 6 things wrong to lose the game. And guess what? They did all 6. And yet, the Saints aren't eliminated either. You think the Bucs are like just going to run away with this thing? Do you know they play the Niners next week? Do you know they play the Bengals after that? I don't see them winning either of those games. I don't care if it's Brock Purdy or Bryce Petty. I don't care who's starting for the 49ers. The Niners are a great team. The Bucs are not. So we come to this now. Is this the last season we're seeing of Brady? This is how this is going to finish? Like, what if they collapse? What if the Bucs collapse and holy crap, the Falcons catch him in week 18 and Tom Brady does not make the playoffs? And Marcus Mariota does. Or the world explodes and Sam Darnold somehow gets the NFC South title. Does Brady walk off on that? Is that it? If he finishes at 8-9 and doesn't make the playoffs, can he retire? That's the last season? That's what you came back for? And that's what apparently you've paid a large personal price for to come back for that? It's almost like you have to run it back, just like, you know how when you're shooting around in the gym or the driveway, like you gotta make your last one before you go back into the house? If you're Brady, you're the greatest football player ever. You can't lose a playoff spot to Mariota, Darnold, or Dalton. That's not suiting you and your stature and your greatness. Oh my gosh. And what's crazy is that even if they do get it, let's say that the Bucs get the playoff spot at 9-8 or 8-9, who knows? Do you know how many good teams who are going to come hot in that last month are not going to get in the playoffs? Because the Bucs are only getting in as the division winner. They can't get the wild card. It's such a strange thing. Sometimes I really feel like, who cares if you're a division winner? Let's do this based on record. Because then you get those bizarre 7-9 teams. I just can't believe it's Brady. I can't believe that this is how it would end. It's got pangs of like Robert De Niro in Rocky and Bullwinkle or Al Pacino in Jack and Jill. Is that where we're at? That's not Brady. It's not that he's bad. It's just the team. Can't believe how strange they are. I can't believe that Brady, if you would have told him back in February when he was retired, it was over. He walked away, retired. Guess what? You're going to be 6-6 and down 16-3 to Andy Dalton at home on Monday Night Football in December. Are you into that? Does he just walk or say, no, I want it. I'm married to the game. Ball is life. Very strange. The NFC South sucks. I kind of like it, though. I like tracking how bad it could be. And what I'm really here for is a table flipper. Marcus Mariota winning the division, getting the playoffs. Brady has to retire. Darnold, Dalton. I would love for one of those teams to come running. But I'd love a lot of things to happen in the playoffs or may not happen. That gets us to what I hate. Let's go. Come on. I hate that I can't pick who makes the playoffs. I would love to just be able to pick this team's in, that team's out. I know who I want in there as ingredients. If the playoffs are this incredible large goulash, I know what I want in that thing. I know it tastes good. I know it will go well together. I know it tastes like crap and is not going to fit the dish at all. And I don't get to pick. I wish in the last month of the season I could say, all right, I've been watching for 4 or 5 months. You're in. Don't really care about the record. I care about how you're doing now because we have a really unique species of team going on this year. The terrible in September and October team, and then the come running in December team. I love come running teams. Yes, they blew the first half of the season. Yes, they were terrible, but they're hot now. Now it's playoff season. Now they can't miss. Now they're wrecking everybody. I'll tell you who I'm talking about. Lions, absolutely love them. Detroit Lions. Do you know they're favored at home this weekend against the Vikings? Vikings are 9-2, and they're underdogs against the Lions. The Lions are really good. I mean that. I don't think I've said that sentence in a long time. The Lions are good. They've won 4 out of 5. Josh Allen to Diggs on Thanksgiving ripped their heart out. Otherwise, it might have been 5 in a row for the Detroit Lions. You know how I feel about Dan Campbell. You know I'm way into it. By the way, the Vikings aren't even 9-2. They're 10-2. 10-2. Looking to go 11-2. All right? I want the Lions in. The novelty of seeing the Detroit Lions in a playoff game, not with Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, with Jared Goff. Can you believe that? That would be really cool. And I like it. And they play a fun brand of football. They pass, they run. The defense has gotten way better. Campbell on the sideline in a wild card game. Can you even imagine? Can you imagine if it was like Lions-Cowboys? A game that we've seen during the Stafford era. Imagine if we saw that. Imagine if it was Lions-Vikings and the Lions beat their division rival. I want the Lions in. I want them in. They're going to come running. Another team's kind of running. Let's get the Raiders in. Let's get them in. Sure. They completely embarrassed themselves and threw up all over themselves in September and October, and people were saying Josh McDaniels should be fired. Now they're catching heat. It's hard to see this many dominant stars on one team and imagine that they're not even going to make the playoffs. Max Crosby looks incredible. Devontae Adams as advertised. Josh Jacobs, league's leading rusher. Derek Carr, great, sure. Chandler Jones came to play last week, had a bunch of sacks. That team should be in. That team has sizzle. That team has superstars. I need that. I want that. I want the Raiders in. I want the torch. I want the silver and black. I'm into that. I would much rather have the Raiders than some tedious AFC team who's just going to kind of roll over and lose in the wild card. Maybe the Raiders shock the world. They have the talent to do it. I want them in. You know who else I want in? I want the Steelers in. Yes, I do. Because I'm a proud American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men. No, I love the Steelers. I think they're part of the brand. They're part of the NFL brand. Do you know they're playing the Raiders on Christmas, the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, Franco off the turf? I want both those teams in. I hope that game ends in a tie if it helps them. I hate ties. I would prefer that they tie than one of them lose so I can get both of them in. I want to turn on the playoffs in January, and I want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers logo. And if they get there with a rookie quarterback, and Mike Tomlin somehow defies the odds and continues his streak of never having a losing season, gets to 9-8, here for that. Najee Harris wins the angry run scepter like every single week. He runs over people. Doesn't usually run for a lot of yards, but I like his style. I like his aggression. I want the Steelers in. And last of all, you may hate this. I don't care. This is what I hate. What I hate is that I can't pick the playoff teams. And you know who I would pick? I'd pick the Packers. You know that's coming. Let's go. Can you imagine Rodgers just starts ripping off wins? Can you imagine him talking to the media and doing his little sound bites, his little smile? They just beat the Bears. They're in the bye. They're going to beat the Rams, the zombie Rams, and then they have a few games left to win. And if they just sneak in somehow when they were left for dead, they lost to the Lions. They had to hear these start Jordan Love, Rodgers is done conversations. If they come running, whoo, oh my God, I would love it. I just like the story. I like the stars. There's other teams right now who are fine. You know, the New York Giants, pretty good story. Cowboys, sure. Vikings, yeah. Seahawks, pretty cool story. I just think it's just that everybody's minds would explode if Aaron Rodgers finished this thing and came down the streak and he comes back from the dead, full Undertaker gif, and gets in the playoffs. That's what I want. I want the Raiders, Steelers, Lions, and Packers in the playoffs. I hate that I cannot choose. It would be much more fun. The playoff goulash needs those 4 ingredients. Trust me, it would be delicious. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'd take 2 out of 4. I may even take 1 out of 4, but I would prefer 4 out of 4. That would be hilarious, which is what we get to next. Oh, man. I'm going to have to stretch out to do this story a little bit. Let's get to what's hilarious. Come on. The Odell Beckham coverage and recruitment is hilarious. And you might be right now watching this and being like, oh my God, I can't do another Odell story. I get it. I'm with you. That's where I'm coming from. I really do get it. It's reached farcical levels of coverage and saturation. I think I'm sick of talking about it. I think you're sick of hearing about it. I think / I know many of the reporters who are covering it are really sick of covering it. It's become a massive eye roll for a few reasons. One, why hasn't it happened yet? We've been hearing about this for weeks and weeks. We know he wants to play. We know he's feeling better. We know his health's starting to check out. We know the principals involved who might be willing to sign him. So let's do it. You know what else we know? We know it's December 6th. We only got a few weeks left. If you want to do the whole thing where you envision this getting a regular season run going and then he makes plays in the playoffs. It's time to go. The other part it's ridiculous is that, like, it's Odell Beckham Jr. off a massive knee injury. Why do I feel like we're back covering Peyton Manning's free agency? Nice player, right? A lot of potential. Coming off an injury, we'll kind of see. Why do I feel like it's Randy Moss in his prime and everyone's like, oh my God, the sweepstakes? That's hilarious. The Odell Beckham Jr. sweepstakes? Like, you're going to get Odell and someone comes to your driveway with a giant check and balloons and a prize van. It's like, you won the Super Bowl. I did? Didn't I just get a number 3 receiver? I guess maybe occasionally on my third option on 3rd and 6, I could go to Odell and get 9 yards and move the chains. Do we get a parade because of that? I like Odell. I'm rooting for him. I don't love the Odell coverage anymore. So you say, well, then why are you talking about him? Not quite, my friend. I'm talking about people talking about him. That's where we're at right now. I don't want to talk about him. Just wait. When Josh is here in a few minutes, I'm going to ask him about Odell. But maybe he'll turn out to be a fantastic star and all that. But the idea that there's a sweepstakes for Odell Beckham Jr., you would think that it was the Justin Jefferson free agency. And that's finally Justin Jefferson's going to pick the team and who knows who it's going to be. Or it's Nick Bosa is a free agent and he gets to pick wherever he's going to go. Jerry Jones is talking about him. That will shock you, I'm sure. And Jerry Jones was kind of saying some stuff. I'm going to paraphrase, but he's saying, like, there's a lot of history with his injury there. And all this got to come in with our eyes wide open. It has to be addressed. And that's when you can see if you can make a deal or not. Jerry's basically saying, oh, we want Odell, but we kind of want him cheap. Yeah, we don't want to pay a lot for him because we're worried he might be still injured. Very prudent, Jerry. I like it. Sunday, Odell FaceTimed with Von Miller during Von's Twitch stream and said his visit was good. He had some lemon pepper wings. Now we're at the stage of the sweepstakes that we're covering what kind of wings Odell had whilst in Buffalo. Last night, he was at the Mavericks game with Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons for his recruitment to Dallas. This has reached like the Jesus Shuttlesworth recruiting trip levels. It's a good player. I think he's healthy. I don't know. Neither do you. But Aaron Donald is not going to be a free agent anytime soon. You're not going to be able to sign him. That's what it feels like with this. I like him. I'm into him. Great memories of watching him play. Hope to watch him for a long time. Very famous guy. Trust me. I was talking to NFL fans in Europe and a few different countries, and I'd be like, oh, who's your favorite player? Tom Brady. Tom Brady. We love Tom Brady. Oh, yeah, great. Anybody else? Odell, we like Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham? Listen, he's not even on a team right now. That's your second favorite player in the league? You don't want to say Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Odell Beckham? We love Odell Beckham. They all were saying it. They love Brady and they love Odell. He has an expansive international profile in brand, which they love him. And I think a lot of these teams see that and they want to cash in on it. Some of them just be like, we need one more playmaker. You can't be anything these days if you're not hashtag all in, but we'll see. I'm all in on Odell as a guy and as a player and everything, but when it comes to just obsessively covering him, not in the offseason, not when there's nothing going on, in the thick of the season, the obsessive covering Odell, I'm all out. That being said, let's bring in the Bills starting quarterback and ask him if the Bills should bring in Odell Beckham Jr. No, let's get to Josh. We have lots to cover. He's here. He's patient. He is the man. I got my number 17 hat on. And here we go, folks. Starting quarterback for Buffalo Bills, J.A. 17. All right, he has won 3 straight games. He's won 3 straight against the Patriots, and he fell asleep during the Princess Bride. That's why we love him. It's Josh Allen. What's up, dude?
You're never going to let me live that one down, are you?
Well, it is memorable, and maybe we'll add to that today because we have so much to get into. First and foremost, you had like a little bit, I hate to use the term mini-bye because maybe you guys don't consider that, but you played the Thursday, you got a long weekend. What'd you do? What'd you get up to?
No, it was definitely a mini-bye. Some guys get out of here, they go home. Some guys go to Toronto. We're pretty close to Toronto. I love Toronto. Toronto's a good spot. But me, personally, I sat in my couch and watched an overload amount of football. I watched it all. And I watched Scott Hansen. He called me Jared Allen on stream. And I tweeted at him. I don't know if he saw it, but I said, touche. I deserve that one. So I've called him Chris Hansen too many times. I deserved it.
I saw it. We talked about it. I thought it was perfect. I mean, he's in you. The Jared Allen thing, Chris Hansen to catch a predator, Scott Hansen to catch a touchdown. You must have had a great weekend. Like, you're sitting there, you're tweeting at Scott Hansen, just watching ball.
Yeah, and speaking of Predator, we watched that one too. So I'm excited to get into that one.
Dude, Allen's on fire. We're going to get to Predator, and we get to all kinds of stuff. I have to tell you, you made me laugh out loud on my couch watching you against the Patriots. And I'll tell you why. Second quarter, 3rd and goal at the 8. You roll out, you do the patented Josh Allen stiff arm, and you do a jump pass to Gabe in the back of the end zone. I straight up laughed when it was like the coolest, most hilarious play. For reasons I can't totally describe. Give me your perspective on that play. You're so good at telling the story. Start to finish, tell me about that play.
Yeah, well, we had a man beater type concept. Right off the jump, they kind of played almost like a robber, and that means just one of the safeties just kind of lingering in there. And I felt like he was kind of in the way. Knowing that, I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to buy some time. They had a spy on me. And he kind of met me near the sideline, and it's just one of those things, right? Like we talk about situational football, 3rd and 8, like usually you don't want to take a sack in the red zone. 1st and 2nd down, no way you're taking a sack, right? I'm throwing the ball away, get rid of it. Now, when it's 3rd down and you know you're not going to be going for it in that situation on 4th down, it's okay to take a sack there. Like the statistic differences between a 28-yard field goal and a 35-yard field goal, like really, really nothing. So knowing that I can extend the play there, keep the play alive, obviously just throwing a little stiff arm there. And I saw Gabe Davis, and he was running this way. And I just felt like those guys had given up on the play, and I felt like he was about to go back for me. I made sure there was nothing backside, and yeah, just threw one back there. And typically those are the ones, like, they leave your hand. You're like, just be right. Please be right. Don't throw another interception here. And it came off the hand well. And Gabe, he made an unbelievable play coming back to the ball, which, again, our guys do such a good job of that, and knowing that they can get the ball at any point in any play. It's really all it was.
It's funny that you describe your inner monologue, because there's an image of like a cartoon character, and they have a devil on their shoulder, and the devil's like, throw it, take the touchdown. And the angel's like, now, maybe just throw it away. Does it feel like that in the moment? Does it get that slow?
Sometimes, yeah. In that moment, yes,
yeah.
It did. And there's some that are just so split decision, like, but there's some, like, you have that split second of thought in your brain. It's just like, I can make this throw, but should I make this throw? And sometimes the one on the left side wins, sometimes the one on the right side wins. And sometimes, again, you kind of get lucky. And I don't think that one was a lucky one, though. I think me and Gabe are on the same page.
I did too. And that comes from years of experience and practice reps and training camp and off season. I could spend the whole conversation here, Josh, talking about that play. I have one more question. You were so close to the sideline. It was inches. And you've done this before. Like, Next Gen Stats, they calculate this stuff. But I watched, you don't look down to make sure you're in bounds. How do you know where the sideline is so you can cut that close with your big old foot?
Honestly, I couldn't give you an exact reason of, like, why I know I'm in. It's more just like, if I'm in, I'm in. If I'm out, I'm out. If he dies, he dies. Yeah. Like, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But I think, again, just playing football for so long, you feel like you know where you're at, like, just based on visual, like where I'm looking down in the end zone, I can see pylons there. Like, I just feel like I'm in bounds here. It's just kind of a feel thing that just kind of comes with, I guess, repetition over time. And again, I've been playing football since 7-8 years old. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of what the field is.
Same size field in the NFL and high school and every level, and you use every inch of it. Afterwards, as if that night couldn't have gotten cooler, dude, you met Jay-Z after the game. You're coming off the field, you're in the tunnel, and Jay-Z is there in Foxborough. We even had video of it. Tell me what is going on here. What's going on through your head?
Yeah, I'm walking through the tunnel, and I see him walking. I'm like, I kind of give him like a little hand gesture, and all of a sudden I'm walking with Gabe, and I hear, Gabe, and Gabe kind of looks back, and I don't know if he realized who was talking. I go, hey, Gabe, like, Jay-Z's calling you, and he went over there and said, what's up? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this time. I'm gonna go dap him up. So yeah, like anytime you get to meet, like I said, somebody with so much respect, everybody knows who Jay-Z is, like that was a pretty cool moment.
Well, wheelhouse for you right here. So who would be on your list of men or women that you're walking off the field and they're standing there at one of your games and you get to go up and say hi to them and it would just blow your mind? It would sink your battleship. Who would that be?
I think Tiger Woods would be one. I think I've got a lot of respect for him. Like there's only been a few athletes in my life that like I've actually like felt like I was on the field or in that moment with him. Kobe was one of them, and Tiger was the other one. So I think Tiger he'd probably be number one. I think number two, I don't know. What
about your boy Will Ferrell?
Yeah, Will Ferrell, he'd be up there. I was about to say him. Maybe Steve Carell. Obviously, my affinity for The Office. Yeah, so I think those two will probably be at the top.
Do you get nervous? Like if you met Steve Carell, would you just be cool, or do you start talking weird and talking fast? Like, is that something that affects you?
No, I think I'd be pretty cool. And I say that now, not being in the moment. Who knows what's going to happen? But I feel like I'd be pretty chill in those moments.
Sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it ends. Like the Michael Scott stuff would just come flying out, though. I feel like
it would, but like I met Richard Madden one time. Obviously, he's in Game of Thrones. He's the King of the North, and this was I'd say fairly early into my career, right? And I walked up to him and I said, "King of the North," and I just felt like he really hated that because he probably gets that from everybody, and I was just like, "Ah, man, I shouldn't have said that." Like that was one of those moments. Again, like I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and it was like I think season 8 had just ended, and he was there. It was at an F1 event, and I said it, and I was like, "Ah, man, I wish that's one thing I wish I could take back." Not saying that.
We all do it, man. Listen, it could have been worse. You could have met Jay-Z, and you could be like, "Look, Jay, we got 99 problems, but the Patriots ain't one." Like that would be cringe city. So he didn't do that.
For sure, yeah. I've learned from my mistakes. I've gotten better from that moment. I guess you got to go through those to learn.
Hell yeah, you do. Holiday season, you've talked about you're a gift giver, but indulge me, dude. Everybody has something that they want. Like I want a shaving mirror in my shower. It's just a stupid thing that I asked my wife for. It's probably $40. What do you want for Christmas?
I'm so low maintenance when it comes to gifts. Like, I love like little trinkets and gadgets and like things just to keep my mind occupied. Like I have a bunch of these little bar games, right? Like there's like a little ring attached to a coil, and you got to get the ring off the coil. Like, dude, I just love having fun. Like board games, card games. I think a nice chess set would be at the top of my list right now. I've been getting into chess, but I'm not a very expensive or high maintenance gift receiver. I should say, like anything I get, I'm pumped about.
I can tell. Someone should get you a Stark v. Lannister chess set. I think that exists. I think that's out there.
That would be pretty cool. I would welcome that.
Someone will welcome. Now 50 Bills fans are going to find that for you guys. No need. Josh is not looking for it from you. Maybe from one of his friends. How about this one? How about Santa Claus brings you an early Christmas present and gives you and your teammates Odell Beckham Jr.? How would you feel?
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be really, really cool. He came to Buffalo. It's no secret.
Yeah.
Got to hang out with him for a little bit and I guess give our best spiel. But I know there's reports about him committing today or tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everybody would welcome that. Obviously, like you can never have too many weapons on a team, and again, his track record speaks for itself. And he stays in that game last year. He's a Super Bowl MVP, and it's looking a whole lot different this year for him. But I know he's chomping at the bit to pick a team, and I guess we'll see where he goes.
And I know that Von's kind of the godfather on that for obvious reasons. What's that like? Is it when you say a recruitment pitch? Is it a casual hang, or is it like, here's the real solid reasons with a PowerPoint and like an overhead projector? How does that go? What was that like?
For us, it was a solid hang. Like we didn't really talk about football. Like I gave him some tidbits of what I could foresee happening, with him on the field. But again, it was just kind of like, let's just hang out, dude. Let's break bread together. And I think it's more of a feel thing. And he wants to be in a spot where he feels welcomed and comfortable and can come in and try to make an impact right away. And again, wherever that may be, the dude's he's awesome. He really is. I really enjoyed, spending time with him. And again, I guess we'll see.
Was that your first time meeting him, or had you known him at all before that?
I had met him a couple times, but like quick, short interactions, like Super Bowl parties or something like that, like at an event, like he's walking by media row saying what's up. And that's like the first time I actually got to spend some quality time with him. And again, he would fit so well into our locker room. I know he gets this rap and from when he was in New York of the kicking net and all that stuff, but the dude can absolutely ball out. And I think, given his point in his career right now, he wants to win football games. He wants to win Super Bowls. And, I think he understands that, what bringing a Super Bowl here to Western New York and Bills Mafia would mean. And I think that excites him. So we'll see.
Looks like there's a bunch of teams that want him. You have a good feeling?
I honestly, I've recruited before. I've tried to talk guys into coming here, and it's never really gone our way. So I've got no, hope for the best, expect the worst. That's what my mantra is right now with this. And again, I'm a fan of his. Wherever he goes, I hope he has success. But personally, we wish he's here.
Hell yeah. I hear it. I see it. I hear it. You said you had your mini bye and you watched tons of football. That sounds like you're heaven. So many great games this past weekend. I think the best game, in my personal opinion, was Bengals Chiefs. Did you watch Bengals Chiefs? I
did watch that game.
What'd you think?
I'm again at 27-24. This year, dude, it's been, Coach McDermott talked about this in our team meeting yesterday. It's been the lowest margin of victory in the NFL, I think, ever. Like the games this year have been so close, and the opportunities that come around are so minimal that you have to capitalize on those opportunities. So there's one or two plays in every game that can swing the entire course of a game. And there was a couple that happened in that Chiefs Bengals game. And I was a fan. I enjoyed watching those two guys, Pat and Joe, duking it out. They both played really, really, really good football. And there were some really good games this weekend.
Great games. And, it's the Chiefs and Bengals are obviously two teams that you could run into. You're going to play the Bengals in a few weeks. You mentioned Joe. You've never played him. He's been in the league now 3 years. He got hurt his rookie year. You've never faced him. You will shortly. What are your impressions of him as a player and as a guy?
Yeah, so he trained with Jordan Palmer coming out. So I've gotten actually to spend time with him. He's awesome, dude. He is so ball. Like that's all he wants to talk about. That's all he wants to do is play football and be a quarterback. And again, he's playing some high level football right now. He's extremely accurate. He knows what's going on. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and I think his play shows for it. And I think with their offense in whole, like they got some pieces, they got some weapons, and on the defensive side of the ball, Logan Wilson, that's my guy. I played with him in Wyoming for a few years, and he's an absolute animal. So looking forward to that matchup again, just because I know a few guys on that team, and hopefully I can get Logan's jersey and hang it on my wall here down in the basement. And but we'll see them. I think I don't know if they're our last game or not. I don't really know our schedule other than who we're playing this next week, but that'll be fun.
Yeah, you've told me that before, that you don't look at the schedule and you didn't know the Chiefs were a couple weeks away when they were, and that's just not how you operate. You've also said before, dude, that you wear a lot of sweatpants and maybe a couple pairs of Jordans that you have, and that's kind of the limit of your swag or your drip. Like, Burrow is setting the standard. Like, he shows up in crazy outfits. Like, he sets the tone for, like, the whole league. What are your impressions of his style?
Dude, it's A1. It's top of the game. Some guys can pull it off, some guys can't. I just unfortunately, fall in that can't category. You know, I don't know if it's my legs are too big. I'm just a big guy, and I look funny in some of those clothes sometimes. And it's like I'm just gonna put my sweats on and be casual and you know, just worry about trying to play quarterback instead of spending time in my closet trying to pick what goes with each other and what shoes go with that. Like, and I don't want to hire a stylist or anything like that.
Stylist.
I'm just you know, low key.
You are, and it suits you and it fits you. I want to ask you about another guy. So Baker Mayfield, your draft class, number 1 overall pick. I know you know him. We've talked about it before. Doesn't have a team. Free agent. It's crazy how that's happened. I'm a huge Baker guy. I know he has his critics. I love Baker. What's your take on the state of Baker Mayfield right now?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a team right now, but I think once 4 o'clock rolls around, I guess we'll find out what team picked him up because, again, I think he's very talented and, you know, coming out in the same draft class, I got to know him a little bit too. And I love him as a guy. Like he's fiery. He's a competitor. Obviously, I think he's one of those guys though that's like you love him on your team, and when he's on the opposing team, you know, the defenses hate him. He's like, that's just kind of how he rolls, and that's how he's been, you know, in college. You know, the walk-on story. He's had a lot of adversity in his life, so I know this is kind of just a hiccup in his path. But you know, if anybody knows him, I'm sure this is just gonna, you know, motivate him, and I'm sure he's gonna find a way. You know, because he always has in his career.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. Love the guy, rooting for him. We got a lot of stuff to take care of with the movie business, but I got to ask you about the Jets first. You played in the New York Jets. The headline here, listen, you said it yourself. Last time you played the Jets, you said you played like bleep. That was your quote afterwards. I thought it was kind of cool that you just owned it like that. What do you try to change this time around? This is the second shot at him. What do you try to do different personally?
Yeah, just win the game. And that's, I know that sounds weird, but just score more points than they do. You know, being smart with the football, making good decisions. You know, their defense is playing at such a high level right now that, you know, we got to be on our P's and Q's and we got to put together a good game plan. And, you know, I know Coach Dorsey's been working on it hard these last few days. And again, having a little mini bye week that allows us to get a jump start on them. But, you know, it's hard to beat teams in this league. It's hard to beat them twice. And obviously we're playing at home in division game. Like this is one that we have to have. And we understand that. Like Coach McDermott preaches that all the time. You got to win at home, you got to win your division games. And this kind of falls into both of that category, or both of those categories, I should say. So we know it's a big one. It's the next one. We just got to put our best foot forward and focus on trying to win a football game.
Rested and ready, focused like you always are. It'll be a great game. I can't wait to talk about it next week. In the meantime, we have a lot to accomplish before you go here today, Josh, because we've done the Josh Allen Film Festival all season. The qualifications for the film festival has to be before you were born in '96 and a movie you've never watched before. First things first, we have to solve a mystery. Last week we were talking about sports movies, and you mentioned a movie that was based on a true story that you have a real problem with, that your teammates know and will ruffle some feathers. I talked about this here. I talked about this on the NFL Network. And I have a list of movies that I suspect it might be. Remember the Titans, Friday Night Lights, Miracle, The Blind Side, and Draft Day are my guesses for the movie based on a true story that you have a problem with. Did I get it right with one of these?
I can neither confirm nor deny any of these options.
All right, and why is that? This is a movie. You know I'm going to have your back. Why not just admit it? This is a movie and that I just have a problem with, and I watch a lot of them, and there's this one thing that grinds my gears about this movie. Let's hear it. What do you got? I got your back.
I'm not doing it. Not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not. I can't do it.
Is that because people love this particular movie and you saying you don't like it will piss people off?
I think that's part of it. But again, I've made people mad with The Princess Bride before. Like that's not part of it. I think all of these movies here have their flaws. I'm a Miracle guy though. Like take Miracle off.
Okay, good.
That's one that
okay, Miracle's out here. Take the list off.
Right. Listen, right behind this wall, I've got a USA versus USSR bubble hockey. Like I freaking love
sweet.
the movie Miracle. Yeah, like
that's great.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite all-time movies because I got a lot of USA pride, and I remember that watching that as a kid, like being in the theater. It was me,
Yeah.
my brother, and one of our buddies named Dominic. And we were maybe 9-10 years old, and we were going absolute nuts. Like we thought it was a real game. Like that last game, like, do you believe in miracles? Like we were going absolutely ballistic inside the theater. And like it's one of the memories that I remember. Like one of my earliest memories was going to that movie and watching that.
Oh, that's awesome. You got to meet Kurt Russell. I'm sure you've met Al Michaels. He's the miracle guy.
Yep, I have.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'll leave this alone. We'll go to Predator. But before giving you my theory, I thought it was The Blind Side because I know you have convictions and a chip on your shoulder about college recruiting and what you went through with that. And the fact that Nick Saban and all these people are trying to recruit this guy based on a video if he pushes a guy out of bounds in high school seems preposterous to me. And I feel like you were like, The Blind Side, I got some problems with that. But I know you would not want to admit even if I was right.
Listen, I think all of those movies on that list had a lot of flaws. And sure. I think it's more so based on the notion of based on a true story. Like that's what really grinds my gears about this particular movie. Yeah, that's as many hints as I'll give you for that.
I got you, bud. I got you. Let's get to something. Josh watched a movie that came out in 1987. It was called Predator, and it sounds a little bit like this.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
You're damn right he doesn't have got time to bleed. Josh, let's just get into it. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. What did you think of Predator?
Yeah, again, like it's so weird watching these movies and understanding like so many iconic scenes, quotes, moments, like the meme of the guys handshaking, right? Like I didn't realize that was from this movie. Like if it bleeds, we can kill it, get to the chopper, which everybody on earth says, right? Like it's in Arnold's voice.
Get to the chopper!
Yes. It was so insanely quotable, and it's one of those movies, again, I've watched Family Guy, and there's so many references in Family Guy to this movie. It was nonstop action. It was just so, man, like it wasn't like this weird sci-fi movie that could have gone different paths. Like it was just to the point. It was just man action right away. Arnold, he killed it. I think that's his best acting performance. Like I've seen The Terminator and I've seen some other stuff that he's in, but like this one was so good and it's so iconic. It's an A for me. Like there was no like downtime. Like there was no wait for something. Like you're on the edge of your seat basically the whole movie, and everybody in this team that's out there in the forest. And I thought the graphics and the visuals were really cool too, especially back in that day. But they're back to like there's something waiting for us, right? And we're all gonna die. Like they're so scared, and Arnold's just like, all right, come kill me, I dare you. And he's just basically challenging this beast, and it was awesome.
Oh my gosh, you got me. If I was with you right now, we would do the "you son of a bitch." I'm so excited that you're excited. So the guy who says I ain't got time to bleed, I don't know if you know him at all. That's Jesse the Body Ventura. No. Okay, so Apollo is he's the guy who gets killed and he's got the mustache and he's kind of betraying Arnold the whole time. But the guy with the minigun. Yes, exactly. The minigun guy who's I ain't got time to bleed with the big dip in and like the cowboy hat. Yeah. That's Jesse the Body Ventura, who used to be a pro wrestler and then went on to become the governor of Minnesota. So like of all the things in that movie, Arnold became governor of California, Jesse became governor of Minnesota. It's an absolutely legendary deal with that cast. Yeah,
that is pretty crazy. That's really cool.
I'm so excited that you loved it, man, because it does just kick ass. It's an A. All right. Let's move on. Josh, I got options for you. These are three movies, and if you've seen one of them, just eliminate it. But bring up the three movies. We got 1993's Tombstone, 1992's My Cousin Vinny, and 1990's Misery. Have you seen any of these?
I have not seen any of those.
Okay, so Tombstone is like an ass-kicking cowboy movie with your boy Kurt Russell from Miracle. My Cousin Vinny, landmark comedy with Joe Pesci, takes place in a courtroom. And then Misery is this really scary movie about an obsessed fan who kidnaps the person she's obsessed with. You choose. What are you into, buddy?
I love me an old Western. I really do. Is that what Tombstone is?
Hell, it's the Western. You're gonna
Okay.
if you're choosing
Okay.
Tombstone, it rocks, dude.
All right, I think that's the
All
one
right.
then.
Tombstone with Val Kilmer in the role of Doc Holliday. Tombstone from this year, you're going to absolutely, it's going to blow your mind, dude. I'm happy for you that you're going to watch it. You love Predator. Last question before you go. You're always involved in so many things, charitable, philanthropic, whatnot. There's an initiative that's called Forgive Co., which is a public benefit corporation to wipe out debt. Tell me about Forgive Co. What is this?
Yeah, well, I've joined Forgive Co. And we're actually going to be forgiving I think it's $10 million worth of consumer debt, which I think is going to affect over 2,600 people, like at an average around $3,500. It's a new public benefit corporation, and we're buying off their debt. It's unnecessary debt, and buying it at cents at the dollar. So we're trying to just help people out, and obviously with Christmas coming up, and with all the gratitude that I have for the fans, like I thought this was such a cool way to support people that have supported my on-field endeavors, and like it's going to California, my college state, obviously Wyoming, in Buffalo, and it's for Americans across the country that are going through some hard times right now, and just I thought it was a cool way to again show my support for the people that support me.
It's a great thing to do. Debt is crippling. Debt ruins families. Debt ruins marriages, especially this time of year at the holidays. Josh, you don't have to do that stuff. You could just play football and say that's your job. You do it, and everyone else should be into it. Forgive Co., public benefit, wiping out debt and helping people who need it. You always help us here in the basement, Josh. Go get a win, and most importantly, get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Love it. Thank you, Kyle.
My man. See you, Josh.
See
Take
you
care,
guys.
dude. Say it with me. That's our guy. That's Josh Allen. We will see him next week, of course. Big game this weekend. Every game is big this time of year. It's December, folks. We are past Thanksgiving. We're going for the stretch run. We're trying to get that 1 seed if you were the Buffalo Bills fan, so you can get the home playoff games in the off week. Only time will tell, though. In the meantime, we'll see him next week. And we got darts to throw. Skycam, if you please. And look, there's an unlimited loop. It's a confusing thing if you look at it. Hello, it's like an MC Escher painting. But I'm going to throw the dart, see whatever number I hit, and there'll be a corresponding topic that was randomly chosen by the producers. That's an 18. 18. 18 again, the legal voting age. Favorite Peyton Manning memory? Well, I have a lot of them. I'll take the Skycam here and walk over to the old bike. Listen, I have a lot as a player. I mean, there's tons of them watching him as a player. I think I was in college when he was coming out, and I have fond memories of the Manning Leaf debate. And there was this really strong, powerful push for Ryan Leaf and how talented he was and everything like that. But my favorite Peyton Manning memory is a personal memory. And, this is out there that when the guys were putting together the Manning cast for Monday Night Football, there was a talk of maybe they might need a third person to be anything from kind of a host to a traffic cop to a sidekick, anything. And my name was thrown around a little bit, and I got to meet Eli, lunch with Eli, and I got to do like this Zoom with Peyton and Eli in which we watched a game and talked about it, the three of us. Can you imagine that? Me and Peyton and Eli? It was just as surreal as it sounds. And it was an old Ravens-Browns game. Baker Mayfield versus Lamar Jackson. It was the infamous game that Lamar had to leave to allegedly use the bathroom in the middle of the game. And can you imagine this? Like just being in a Zoom, and it's me and it's two brothers and it's a whole bunch of execs in the side room, and they put on Ravens Browns raw feed. And they're like, go ahead, guys. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? But I tried to find my footing. I asked them some questions. I made some jokes, and we had a good time. The strangest thing is then midway through, they bring in the guest, and you see who it is every week, and it's these credible people, and they needed someone for this audition. So you know who the guest was in that audition? It was Jeff Saturday, Peyton's old center and the current head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. He comes in the middle of it. He starts busting chops and doing his thing. It was really exciting. Top 5 surreal moments of my career, and I've had many of them because my career is pretty strange. But they were really cool. They were unbelievably cool and easy to work with, and it's part of the reason I'm here. So that's it. I mean, it's like I didn't even do it on the air. No one will ever see it. It doesn't exist. but I feel like in a lot of ways, like I hung with Peyton and Eli and like talked football one time, and I'll tell my kids about it. I'm telling you guys about it. Great. Peyton was awesome. Eli was awesome. I just don't even remember what I was saying. I was trying to just be myself, and I think it sort of worked, but inevitably they ended up going with nobody as a third person, which was obviously the right choice. So it was cool, amazing. Audition for the Manningcast was really, really cool, and now it's a massive success, and now I get to be under Omaha anyway, so I feel like I won. That's it, guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to go for a little ride. Thank you to Josh Allen. Thank you to all Bills Mafia for coming in. Every NFL fan, every sports fan, every fan of the human being. Thank you for coming into Kyle Brandt Space, and that's what we do here. We will see you tomorrow. Take care.